Hey everyone, I'm Selena for Who is Jesus Today. How's it going out there? It's getting warmer and warmer in some parts of the U.S., isn't it? And some parts are always warm, right? I guess like Florida. So, I'm just sitting here in some quiet time because God, He reminds me and lets me know that a part of praying and seeking Him, a very important aspect of prayer is listening. Is listening to God. Listening to God for others and for ourselves. And whatever situations that God would like to reveal to us. And as I'm sitting here, I was thinking about someone, but then understanding how this really is applicable to so many of us in different ways that we're not always aware of. So I'm going to share a word right now that came in my spirit as I am sitting here and thinking about not just really one person's life, but also someone else, like others. And I just want to say this word that a lot of times we are eager to jump into roles and positions, and we feel that God has a call on our lives to do something. And I'm not saying that's not true. That's between you and God. It could be to say relocate, right? To travel, to start a church, a ministry, and to start a YouTube channel, right? To build a platform. And we find that if we're not careful, it can easily become more about us and our pain, our past, our struggles, what people are doing and saying to us. You're going to always come across someone who doesn't really care for you much, or they disagree with what you're trying to do or say. And just that you don't have everyone that's going to really be in favor of you. But you know what helps us to be able to take some of these blows and just to kind of like bounce right back. And at times it kind of just starts to like just go right over you. You know, sometimes we are not in that place yet of healing where we should be embarking on some of the genders that we are trying to do. So in other words, a lot of times we are starting to get into certain types of positions. We have an agenda, we have goals that are set. We feel that we are ready to really say, minister to the world. We are really ready to start this group, this church, and we have to come to be honest with ourselves that we're not always healed in the ways that we need to be healed before we can really be healthy, effective conduits to do those things that we are aiming to do for others. Like a lot of times we have to just be honest that our emotions are not really healed. We're not in a strong enough place, or we're not in that place yet of maturity to embark on what you're trying to embark on. And what's going to happen if there's not the appropriate, say, healing that needed to take place, or that place of emotional development, spiritual maturity? We're going to hit some hard places, and when we're hit with these arrows of opposition and rejection and resistance, we can become really overwhelmed by it and very emotional. We can really be showing to everyone that we're not in a emotionally a mature place, or we are not healed from some very deep wounds of our past. And what happens is that it keeps reoccurring. Every time we get another blow, every time we get another, say, dislike, or someone, they have something to say about us, whether it's true or not, it can take us down for a pretty hard hit. And what starts to happen in us, if we're not in that place where we have really been healed, and we're still in that place where we are wounded, you keep returning back to it. Every time there is a setback, or someone has said something to really, hurt us, and it's intentional. There are people even, right, who have Christian platforms that can say some things that can really hurt each other. We can really hurt each other, right? Maybe sometimes it's not what was intended, but that's still how it actually comes across. But here's what I want to say about each of us. When we're not really welled, when we're not over something, it's so easy to slide back into that place when we were deeply wounded, when we were rejected, when we were abandoned, maybe when we were discharged from someplace, or where there was a broken relationship, a broken family. And so what I encourage today is, you may not be as healed as you think. You may not be as ready as you think you are to embark on what you're about to start. Stay in the presence of the Lord. Maybe you need some more time in the healing room. Yes, there's still something there that you keep going back. You keep revisiting that wound. You keep revisiting the gravesite. You see, and you're not as well and prepared as you may have thought you were. That's why you find yourself keep returning back. You keep revisiting. God wants to heal you fully and to equip you. And whatever He has called you to do, He will get you to it. But allow yourself to be healed. Allow yourself to move on. We cannot keep even looking outwardly and saying, well, if this person keeps saying this, or if they didn't really say that, I wouldn't feel the way I feel. I wouldn't keep returning to the same place where I was hurt. But to be honest, when you really are free and delivered, you can't easily be brought back to that place where you were hurt. You see, you're not going to let people keep, pulling you back. And I know there are those out there who intentionally like to keep people in their past, like to keep having them return to their chains, the chains that God has broken. My prayer is that you would also grow and move forward from that as well, and that there would be healing in some who feel that it is necessary to keep pulling others back into their place of pain and brokenness. You see, so those are some thoughts I had in my heart, and I'm speaking first to myself. There are things in life I wanted to do. I wanted to embark and have it launched, but I wasn't as prepared as I thought. I wasn't as ready as I thought. And He's a good, loving Father who looks out for us, protects us. He knows what we need and when we're truly ready. But if we try to step ahead of God, we are actually pushed back, because we see that we're not always really as ready as we think we are. We're not as well as we think we are. And so He came for the sick. Jesus came for the sick. Let's put our name on that list. We're sick in different ways, but let the Lord be your healer, because He is Jehovah Rapha. Let Him heal you. Let Him heal you and make you strong in Him, and allow Him to humble us and say, we're not as strong and ready as we thought we were, but let him continue to work things out through us. Yes, and to be our healer. Thank you. You can like and subscribe. Till next time, shalom.